But Jeff Kaplan recently just came out with like a 5-hour long he came out with like a 5-hour long YouTube video, you know, about his past with Blizzard. Was actually very interesting. It was a very good read. But what we are looking at is I'm gonna look at this is apparently one of the new games that Jeff Kaplan is one of the new games that Jeff Kaplan apparently is working on. So remember, Jeff Kaplan disappeared from Marvel Rivals. I mean, not Marvel Rivals. Wow, that's awkward. Jeff Kaplan disappeared from Overwatch for a very long time. No one knew what he was up to. No one knew what he was doing. And then all of a sudden, he reappeared. He's dropping a new game that he's been working on. And also, he goes on a podcast explaining why he left, basically, Overwatch. But I want to look at this real quick. You know, it's really funny that the guy from the Summer Game Festival and the Game Awards is, you know, saying this because the last time he mentioned a game was rest in peace. Actually, today's the 12th and it's closing. Hi, Guard. But let's see this. It says, the first look at The Legend of California, a new online survival game from the former Blizzard director, Jeff Kaplan. Let's see this. I think the best that we're gonna get is 720p on Twitter, chat. Hey, look, it's Cassidy. Okay, this is very interesting. Oh my god, there's mining. I don't know about you guys, but I love Minecraft mining, bro. The one thing I love to do in Minecraft is mining, man. Oh, and you can build your own house and bases, I'm guessing. The Legend of California. Wishlist now. Well, to be honest with you, you know, I used to judge a lot of things before I actually experienced it or played it myself and formed my own opinion. I will say this game, if I was going to play something like this, which I haven't yet, I would play Red Dead Redemption 2 first. But, I don't know. I would probably try this game and see if I like it or not. But, it's a Western, what was it, chat? It was it's like a Western online survival game. Could probably be pretty interesting. So you know what that means. Especially if it's from the old Blizzard. I don't know if they're going to have a lot of like, you know, it's going to, maybe, is it going to be free to play? Who knows? But if it's not free, if it is free to play, chat, there's going to be a lot of microtransactions. It's a survival game like DayZ. Oh, I've never played DayZ in my life. Hey, I'm starting Variety now, chat. I'm sorry. I'm trying to, you know, expand my horizons, but definitely would probably give this, you know, something with High Guard as well, because I think High Guard received a lot of hate from people who just probably watched the streamer and the streamer didn't like it or something, and then they're like just basically regurgitating all that hate for the game that they didn't even try. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I think High Guard had its own problems as well. They should have had an open beta so people could play the game, give their feedback, so when the game actually did come out and release, it would have been a lot better. But I don't know. I feel like Definitely gonna. I'll probably check this out because hey, it's Jeff Kaplan, right? Probably check it out, see if the game's good or not, and then if I'll tell you guys if it's good or not. Uh, wait. Also, wait a minute. Let me see this. I know we're in Marvel Rivals right now, but give me a second. I think you're supposed to skip to. Okay, chat. I think this is not that long. I'm gonna just. I just want to watch this.
So yeah. So now
I just want to watch this real quick. This is a 5. Okay. This is a 5-hour long podcast, chat. I am not going to go through this whole 5-hour podcast, but we are going to basically look at why Jeff left Blizzard. And also, there was a really good, hold on, let me see something. Not building, getting hired. Maybe they go over it in here. Anyways, this is basically why Jeff left Blizzard, chat. It's a very good video if you guys want to watch it. I mean, it was uploaded 20 hours ago, but we're just going to watch this little segment, and then we're going to jump into some Marvel content. Okay, chat?
now there's this wave in the live game and events, but the pressure on creating Overwatch 2 was building.
Yeah, we had a coalition on the team that was really wanted Overwatch 2 built instead of the live events.
Oh, he looks,
and then the executive pressure
looks much
became
better.
monumental. And what would have been correct was to do more world events, like keep it going. But the major derail was Overwatch League.
Okay, I just want to say before he jumps into this, bro, it brings me back to like 2016, just hearing Jeff Kaplan's voice again. And let me see if I can move my fat head real quick and move chat down here real quick. But it says right here, Overwatch League is Blizzard's professional esports league for Overwatch, launched in 2018 with a city-based franchise model. It operated for 6 seasons before being discontinued in 2023 following Overwatch 2's transition. Which I also think, I think Overwatch League was a lot of fun in the beginning. Like, I think the LAN events, I've been to one in Toronto, was a lot of fun. But I have my own problems with the Overwatch League. I think the Overwatch League was very closed off. Oh, hold on, let me fix my... I think it was very closed off, and if you didn't know anyone in there, you were probably not getting in. I like how it is now, where anyone can come in, make a name for themselves with some random team, and then suddenly become the best. I like that. So anyways, let's see this.
And we really like the weirdest part about Overwatch League is I believe in it. You know, I helped pitch it along with some other people. We thought it was like the future of esports and doing regional based teams, ensuring minimum player salaries and player protections. Like there was a lot of very good about Overwatch League.
And there'd be teams associated with particular cities, and it'd be
Yes.
international, it'd be real competition. So the dream, the ambition was really huge there.
Yeah, the teams part of the dream was more of like regional based player protection, try to make esports more of a first class citizen because there were all these stories about like shady teams, you know, screwing their players over.
True.
Where it got away from
A lot
us
of that.
was there was a lot of excitement about Overwatch League, like too much so, and then it got over marketed to the people buying the teams. Um, they went on this road show where they had a deck basically, and like you can put anything in a deck and sell anything. And they were pretty much selling the Brooklyn Bridge that Overwatch League was going to be more popular than the NFL. And we got a bunch of
What? Listen, I love video games. I think video games are amazing, chat. But there is no way There is no way in hell that you're going to think one esport game, which is Overwatch, is going to be bigger than the NFL. That's crazy. That means your game is having millions upon millions upon millions of viewers, and like, you know what I'm saying? Bro, because like, you know, if you watch the Super Bowl, it's like what, 100 million people plus watching the Super Bowl. When you're no one's watching that much for the what do you call it? No esport really is watching that much. I don't know what the biggest. Actually, I'm kind of curious. What is the biggest esport event in the world by viewership? Let me just see something real quick. Okay, the biggest esport by viewership, chat, was in 2024 League of Legends World Championship, peaking about 7 million viewers, which was like also excluding the Chinese platforms. You're going to tell me that they thought Overwatch was going to beat that? That is wild, bro. Listen, I love Overwatch. Don't get me wrong, chat. But thinking it's going to be bigger than the NFL is crazy.
Billionaire investors in these teams. And when 2018 started, like, for example, the day I got back, they said we signed this huge deal with Twitch for streaming of Overwatch League, like a media rights deal. And that means that here's all these commitments we made for Overwatch League of like in-game stuff that had to.
Sorry, I want to pause one more time. I don't know if you guys remember this, but in 2000, I think, I don't know what year it was, but when Twitch had Overwatch esports on it before they went to YouTube, I think that was the best time for the esports scene, because they actually did have, I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was an all access pass where you could watch whichever, let's say you're a DPS player, you could watch a DPS player's perspective and see how they play and see their thought process. Or if you were a tank player, you could do the tanks. Or if you're a support player, you could do the supports. That was fucking awesome. But they actually got rid of that for some weird reason. And then they went to YouTube. And I don't know. I think they did a lot of bad choices, but I think they did all those bad choices because they wanted the money, chat. And to be honest with you, when you have a game like this that I think you can like that has investors in it, I think they really don't care about the players. I think they really don't care about our experience, because all it is to them is just money. They just want money, chat.
Exists. Like a lot of it was integration with Twitch and camera control and that kind of stuff. The other part of it was a bunch of skins and uniforms for all the teams, which was not just getting the art in the game, but there was huge technical challenges to like how all that worked and was efficient and hit the right, memory footprint and all of that kind of stuff. And so all of your plans at that point kind of go out the
Protect
window.
your
Like you're not
dog
going to work
king.
on new world events. You're not really even focused on Overwatch 2. You're just kind of treading water.
Mhm.
There was a lot of talk of like, oh God, the deal, like the deal didn't go well and we've got to do make goods to make the deal better for them. I'm like, just give them some money back, like if the deal isn't what people wanted, like putting it on us, the Overwatch team, to like support this beast.
Yeah.
And
That's
it was a
fucked.
great idea
They're not gonna give the
that
money back.
the wrong instincts and sort of, I don't know how to phrase this in a way that's not damning, but there was too much focus on let's make lots of money really fast. And a lot of people got dragged into it. And while Overwatch League was great for Overwatch in terms of the players that it brought in, like, and the Overwatch League players, they were awesome. I love them. The Overwatch League staff at Blizzard, some of the nicest, most motivated, great creative
Mhm.
people. Like
Blizzard
all of
does,
these
yeah. Those
organizations got
the
built
people I've
and
met
they were
are
all
awesome.
great, but it was a house of cards waiting to fall.
And it was became more about the money.
And I think this is where it's crazy, chat. It was a house of cards waiting to fall. The Overwatch League. That's Jeff Kaplan quote right there. And Emily was saying it, bro, because we saw this get launched last night, and we were watching a little bit of it, bro. It was just, I don't know, man. That's just crazy spending. Because I don't know if you guys remember when you wanted to buy an Overwatch League slot, and I was in Renegades during this point, in like the beginning of my pro career. They wanted $10 million per slot for your team to buy into the Overwatch League. And then after the first year, I think it doubled and went to $20 million if you wanted to buy into the Overwatch League. I don't think any team has made their investment back at all. And Emily was saying, like, or in general, like a House of Cards chat, it was just doomed to fail. It was just a hollow thing. A lot of the people that I met when I went to these events they were amazing people. I loved them. A lot of the people who I worked with or met with what do you call it? Blizzard are crazy, but like, hey, chat, a lot of the higher ups, bro, all they see, they just see dollar signs, bro. They don't care. They don't care.
Versus the quality of the experience.
And you know what? That's crazy that you said that. Yeah, they were doing $25 million for COD team spots, but then they got rid of that and refunded the ones who paid it. And that's crazy because here it doesn't say that they wanted to give. He was like, hey, why don't you just give them the money back? They don't want to give the money back, chat.
Of the different teams playing together and actually building this ecosystem of esports.
The financial reality kicked in where these teams now, we didn't just have, executives at Activision and Blizzard who cared about the bottom line of Overwatch. We had all these people who basically invested in the game, and then they started to express their opinions. Originally, the business model was going to be that they were going to do in-person events,
Oh, then
and there's
COVID
going to
hit.
be
That
big
sucked.
ticket sales and then merch, and all of that. And I think really quickly everybody learned, like, yeah, we can't do in-game events when you have a London team and a Shanghai team, and like, how does this work? So that fell apart super quickly. The merch was good, but it wasn't going to be making NFL level money, whatever insanity anybody thought that was going to be.
True. That's
So
crazy to me.
everybody quickly defaulted back to, hey, didn't Overwatch make like $500 million just in the live game last year? What can we sell and what can you give us? That pressure comes onto the team. And then the pressure to ship Overwatch 2 and all care and love that we had for like the live game and the live let's just make events and new heroes and new maps. We're losing all these resources. And it got to the point, my exit at Blizzard, I believed in Overwatch too. I think we could have made a great game. I have a lot of hindsight of like how I would have designed that game differently with what I know now versus what ultimately we didn't ship. And there's Overwatch 2 is out now, but it's not the Overwatch 2 that we planned and announced.
So when you're referring to Overwatch
Damn.
2 in this conversation, you're referring to the PvE version.
The PvE version.
Which, by the way, I would have loved to play. I'm one of the people that were Overwatch is great, but the PvP. But I would have loved to play the PvE version.
I think.
Oh, you could have still played the PvE. Chat, you guys are telling me you guys didn't like spending $80 on the promised PvE to only play it for like a few hours, and then they say, hey, we're dropping that? You guys didn't enjoy that? I forgot what else that we got for that deal, but I remember paying like 80, what is it, 60, 70, 80 bucks for that. And then I played the missions. The missions were a lot of fun. I wish they continued it. I think it was a few hours of fun, but they just kind of dropped it out of like, thin air. But was it 80 bucks? Oh, snap. And one of the things I think that they're going to get into, I understand that Overwatch or Blizzard, it's a business, chat. They want to make money, and this is why you get the same 5 character skins all the time. You get your Kiris, you get your Junos, you get your Mercies, you get the same characters always getting skins because they just want to make money. Those are the characters that sell apparently. So like they're never going to make those other characters that you like. That if you Yeah.
I think everybody would have loved to have played it. And there's a misconception online that all I cared about was PvE and I didn't care about PvP. All of the Overwatch 2 PvP maps were something that I said to the team over and over. We have a PvP audience. If we get anything right, it has to be the PvP. We would be lucky to welcome these PvE players, but that's not guaranteed. So it was
That's smart.
never a PvE only focus.
It's just almost expanding it to
I think the
also
PvE would have got
the
more into the lore,
And
though.
what eventually broke me was it used to be like in 2016 and 2017, I felt very in control of the Overwatch team and the direction of the game as a game director, working with Ray Gresco as the production director. It felt like we were running Overwatch
Mhm.
and we were very, very successful and doing a good job. And I think the fans were happy. And then as we transitioned, you know, Overwatch
Yeah.
League.
By the way, sorry, chat. I just wanted to watch this because apparently Jeff, for all the new viewers who are just getting in here. Apparently Jeff, he was a big part of Overwatch, a big part of like my history as well because I played Overwatch in the beginning. Everyone loved Jeff. He left Blizzard. He's gone rogue for a few years, and then this is like the first time he's actually just popped right back up, made a new game, and he's doing this interview on why he left. So I'm just watching this. I'm not watching the whole 5 hours. I'm watching on just why he left, and then we're gonna go do some Marvel content. Just as a heads up.
Was the best intention. My parents always say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That was the Overwatch League, and it ended up being an albatross. And then Overwatch 2 was the same thing. And what it boiled down for me, like what sort of ultimately broke me in my Blizzard career,
Oh,
was
wait
I
a
got
minute.
called in the CFO's office and he sits me down and he says, he gives me a date, which at the time was 2020 and was going to slip to 2021, but at the time it was 2020. And he said, Overwatch has to make in 2020.
Dollar amounts were bleeped to respect Jeff's confidentiality agreement with the company.
And then every year after that, it needs a recurring revenue. And then he says to me, if it doesn't do dollars, we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
That is fucked, chat. Can you imagine right now? Bro. That is fucked. Can you imagine you right now? You're working. Your boss comes up to you, or your boss calls you in the office, sits you down, and says, "Hey, we're gonna have a little conversation right here. Chat, I need you to make me and my game, or your boss is saying this. I need you to make me and my business, 500. Let's just say $500 million or $1 billion this year, or because if you don't do that, because if you don't do that, we are going to fire 1,000 people, and that's on you, not because of me. Listen, it's not good because of my fault. It's because of your fucking fault, bro. I would have left the company right then and there, bro. That is crazy. That is like, tell me that you are not making games for the right reason. Tell me you're only there to just squeeze all the fucking money out of them, bro, out of your player base. That's crazy. And that comes down to the skins, chat. It kind of makes sense. Why when you come out with Venture, or why when you come out with these new characters, why make a skin for them? Why? Because those skins are not going to sell as much as a Mercy. They're not going to sell as much as a Juno. They're not going to sell as much as a Kiri. So every time we make a collab, make it for those characters. Why give those other characters who don't sell well or probably not played a lot? It's all that's fucked, man. That is fucked. I mean, hey, chat, you guys are saying Marvel Rivals would never, but if you actually look at it, there's a huge list of what characters get skins and what characters don't. And Spider-Man, I think, has the most skins because like it's Amazing Spider-Man. Everyone knows Spider-Man, but like, I understand they want to make money, but like, I feel like you should also, like, lean into your players a little bit, make the players, happy because they are the ones that are playing the game. They are the ones who are dedicating time out of their day to play it. They are the ones who are keeping your game afloat instead of like imagining your players as cows and you're just like milking them dry. Like, that's fucked. That is fucked. And I understand like they obviously need to make money so they could like, keep on making content, keep on paying the team. The team are amazing people, but like, bro, if you that's crazy, bro. Having your boss come up to you and be like, "Hey, bro, listen, I need you to make us this much money, and if you don't, well, we're gonna fire 1,000 people, and it's not because of me, it's because of you." That is so. That is so fucked. 1,000 people, chat. You are affecting 1,000 people's lives right there. This guy doesn't give a shit about those 1,000 people. All he cares about is money. 1,000 people. Imagine if they all have wife and kids, or husbands and kids, and or other family members to take care of. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nothing will change until the companies can't be publicly traded. Shareholders run the world. I mean, that's why you see, I think, a lot of these games that are made by like a group of people that come out on Steam actually like do really well and whatnot, is because like it's not like this.
And that was just the biggest fuck you moment I had in my career. It felt surreal to be in that condition. And as somebody who's worked on a lot of games, made a lot of games, you get in these meetings where they're like, Fortnite has 1,400 people working on it. If you just hire 1,400 people and make it free to play, we'll make that money, right? And that was, I had
It's not at all.
believed I would never work anyplace but Blizzard. I loved it. It was a part of who I was. And I felt I was a part of it. And I literally thought I would retire from the place. I never thought the day would come. And that was it. I was like, it's we're done here. Luckily for Blizzard, that CFO is no longer there.
I mean, Blizzard
Ooh, I wonder if you
is
guys
one
could
of the
guess who that
greatest
is.
companies in the history of Earth. They've created so many incredible video games. It's so difficult to create so many hits, and they were done not by chasing money. They're done by small, incredible teams, the hodgepodge that you describe, taking big risks and falling in love with the thing they do, and then just chasing it, working extremely hard. And just because you figured out a way how to make a lot of money doesn't mean it's not at the core this incredible creative journey that's incredibly difficult to pull off. And just because you got a bunch of really smart creative people who have somehow figured out how to pull it off multiple times in a row doesn't mean you can just treat it like a machine. Every single time, it's this beautiful journey of a hodgepodge of weirdos working together, and the weirdos have to run that thing. If you ever have a chance to create something special, you have to have weirdos at the helm. And at the degree to which you don't have weirdos at the helm, creative minds at the helm, and you're a business person at the helm, get out of their way, right? You cannot have the meetings like you're describing. And I don't just speak about this particular company. It's just the entire industry. I just There's so much joy to be had if we keep creating great games. And I just hope we get to see those great games.
I think there's a message to creative people out there and people who make stuff. We're generally we're so focused on the love of the craft that we get lost in it and we love doing it. Um, and we're not cutthroat and we don't have that kind of ambition. We have a different kind of ambition. But there's this whole world, especially as soon as you're lucky enough to have success, that are very cutthroat and very ambitious. And for whatever reason, we keep giving ourselves to them. And we need to stop giving ourselves. World of Warcraft, when we made it, there was no CFO at Blizzard. You don't need a
Ah,
CFO to make World of Warcraft. You need artists, engineers, designers, producers, and an audio team.
You don't need to bring in just because you're making a lot of money, it doesn't mean you need to now start adulting.
okay. Yeah, you know what's actually crazy? I think that at the height of Blizzard, or at the height of World of Warcraft, I think they were making like shit. I don't know the exact like. They were making so much money. Wait, at the height of World of Warcraft, how much money? I think I chat. I don't want to lie to you guys, but I think at the height of World of Warcraft, I think Blizzard was actually making like $1 billion a year, a month or something. Oh no, $1 billion a year from subscriptions alone. $1 billion from World of Warcraft in subscriptions alone. That is fucking wild. That is wild, bro.
By
That's
bringing in a CFO. You can
Yeah.
figure it out.
And there are great finance guys. Like I've worked with finance guys who get it and get out of the way and respect and they're gamers and they sort of understand, but like I I wish developers would understand their own value more and stop handing the golden goose to people who don't deserve it.
How painful was it
damn.
to say goodbye?
It broke me. I think after you've been at a place like Blizzard, which I love Blizzard to this day. I have nothing but warm, fond memories. I mean, there's those moments where you're like, I wish that hadn't happened. But on the whole, that place is mecca for game development. And everything I have is due to Blizzard. They provided for me and my family, made me the person I am. So separating from Blizzard was one of the most painful things. And I was very sad when I resigned.
Damn.
And I didn't realize how broken I was until recently, like the morning grieving I had gone through of like,
I can't imagine
I
that.
think I'm a little fucked in the head for not being there how could I give that up? How could I not be there anymore?
I've never heard
It was
Aaron,
really, really
Jeff
painful
Kaplan talk like this.
leaving.
Can we just speak to I don't know, I don't think we can give enough love to Blizzard. It's a legendary company. For me personally, for everybody, for millions of people, created some of the greatest games ever. Warcraft, StarCraft universe, Diablo, WoW, Overwatch. What made it such a legendary game company? Just looking back at the whole of it.
The start is Mike, Alan, and Frank. It was run by three gamers. They were all three of them programmers. They made the games before they just ran the company. So they knew what each of us as developers beneath them were going through, and they protected us. They shielded us from all of the nonsense. And even when they would align with a business person, they had a COO in the early days named Paul Sams, and Paul protected us. You know, they found great people who got it. The company when I joined was like 95% developers and like 5% operations. It's when I left it was, 50-50, and that's like a 4,500 person company. That love of the games and the respect and good treatment for game developers
It's almost done, chat.
really turned it into the place that it was. Just the commitment to excellence, the high quality bar, and then finding these passionate people like Chris Metzen or Sam Didier. They were like the visionaries of early Blizzard, Alan Adham, of just these worlds that we're still making and we're still playing in today. Um, it was infectious and it was inspirational, and you wore the Blizzard blue with an esprit de corps. Like, you felt proud to be part of it, and you felt like you had made it to be there, and everything you did wanting to respect and honor those who had come before you. I know it sounds
Those for who come before us, chat. Hey, hey, that's a good saying. I like that. It makes us remember something. You guys know what game I'm talking about? Money will corrupt human. Exactly. That's why when I played Detroit Become Human, I had to take care of them, if you know what I mean. Okay, hold up, chat. I gotta get some water. I'm just gonna drink 1 cup of water, okay, chat, before I begin. Oh my god. Sorry. It weighs like 40 pounds. Sorry, my bad. Okay, anyways, let's yeah, man. Expedition 33 is what I was talking about.
sounds almost cheesy saying it that way, but it really had that sense of reverence. Like, you knew you were part of something special. You didn't take it for granted.
Yeah, that's the sense. Reading everything, that's the sense I got. Everybody that was a part of it, that truly, truly, truly honored that time. Just to take a small slice, what were some of the brain? So you mentioned Chris Metzen. You gave so much love to so many people on the team, but I got to ask about Chris Metzen, who I would, by the way, love to do a podcast with at some point. What were the brainstorming sessions with him like? It seems like those are pretty like awesome.
They were the best. Like,
We're almost done, chat.
you
About a few
could
minutes.
walk into a room. Like, the way I would work with Chris is early on when I was more junior, it was just sort of getting creative direction from him. Hey, Chris, I'm about to work on this zone called Westfall. What are your ideas? You know, how could I
Westfall.
capture them in gameplay? Well, that won't quite work. How about like this? It was more like that. Later on, like, I still remember the first discussion I ever had with Chris about Wrath of the Lich King. I went up to his
Wrath
office,
of the Lich
like,
King
hey,
was one. Sorry, gotta pause. Wrath of the Lich King, chat. I was a WoW player. One of my favorite DLCs in the entire universe of World of Warcraft that I played. That was the best one. I put so much time into that. I was a WoW player. I don't know if you guys knew. I was a WoW, Aeon, Lineage 2, Warhammer Online, old school RuneScape. I was I had my fair share of time in MOBAs, or not MOBAs,
yeah,
MMORPGs.
we're finally doing it. We're doing the Northrend expansion. You know, what excites you about Northrend? And that's all you had to say. And he would draw a map and he'd start pulling up old, like, Warcraft 2 and
You
Warcraft
should
1
play it more.
manual.
Sorry, sorry for pausing again, but the reason I don't play anymore, and if you guys play MMOs, you would probably understand this. I just it takes too much time, bro. It's a very, very grindy game, and not just and which I loved as a kid. I loved grinding for things. You know, it was very good once you hit level 60, like in, you know, vanilla WoW. All this stuff, it's very time consuming. If you take a week off, or say, let's even you take a month off from World of Warcraft, well, you're going to be 1 month behind everyone that was continuously playing. You're going to be so far behind, so under geared. Like, to be honest with you, it's, bro, you always have to be fucking playing the game to always be ahead of the curve. It's, listen, as a kid, chat, who could play video games all day, that was like the best thing that you could do. But as an adult who still plays video games all day, I can't do that anymore. Okay, it's too much responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, but like, also, I don't like how you are now in, like, you know, the games where you could be like, oh, you know, you hop on World of Warcraft. Oh, you want to make a new character? Oh, spend $40. Oh, look at that, you're max level already. Congratulations, woo! Yeah, like, come on. Now they figured out hey, people don't want to grind for shit anymore. If they have $40, they'll spend $40 to not do all that, and we can make more money. Like, So I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I don't like MMOs anymore. Will I ever try another MMO? Probably, but I played a lot, and I don't. Yeah, I don't want to do any of that anymore. It's you get addicted to them. Yeah. Anyways,
And,
sorry.
showing you like pictures he and Sammy had drawn and like maps and he all of it. He would just go on for an hour and then I would sort of digest. I just listen, taking constant notes. I'm photographing his whiteboards all the time. And then I go back and start to put those into design flow of like, okay, what's a zone? What's a dungeon? What could be cool? What should come first? What should come last? Lich King, for example, we wanted to try a very specific design to counter a problem we had in Burning Crusade, which is everybody entered through the Dark Portal through Hellfire Peninsula.
That was
All the
cool.
server programmers hate you because everybody loads into the same zone at the same time. Lich King, we split them up for better player flow. Plus, it's more interesting. The more choice you have, Sid
True.
Meier says games are a series of interesting choices. So we give him two starting zones, but that was the flow with Chris. And so often we would just like, okay, in that first meeting, Chris had put a zone called Grizzly Hills on the board. Well, I don't know anything about Grizzly Hills.
Mhm.
Oh
Hey,
man, this is bringing
Chris,
me back flashbacks.
talk about Grizzly Hills. If you didn't interrupt him, he'd just go for an hour and you have no idea how much of it like he had pre-thought about or had existed in previous lore and how much of it he was just making up on the spot.
Mhm.
He's just that charismatic and captivating.
Creating these worlds and being able to
Yeah.
brainstorm through them and together. I mean, that is what you're doing. As a consumer of those worlds, you kind of take it for granted that they're incredible, but like you're crafting them. Like you're looking at a blank sheet of paper and then together coming up.
My job, as I saw it working with Chris, was I had to, on World of Warcraft specifically working with Chris, is I was like the translator into gameplay of what Chris wanted, how to get it to play like how Chris wanted. So my favorite stories we're working on Burning Crusade and we're in this meeting and Chris is like he's the gentlest, sweetest guy, but because he carries himself with such confidence and everybody's in awe of him, the junior developers get kind of intimidated by him. So we're in
I
this meeting and we're talking about Silver Moon
think it's almost
City
done,
because we're
chat.
introducing the Blood Elves. And
Oh,
Chris is like, in Silver Moon City, it's got the tallest fucking tower in all of Azeroth. I mean, it is the tallest thing. It's mind blowing, the awe of it. Only the Blood Elves could build it. Fast forward like 2 weeks later, I'm walking through the hall and I see a bunch of level designers and artists. They're all like crowded around the screen. And on the screen, they've dragged Blackrock Mountain and Karazhan and the Stormwind Cathedral. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, well, Chris said that the Silver Moon Tower had to be the tallest thing in World of Warcraft.
Mhm.
And so we're measuring how tall all of these other things are so we can make the tower taller.
that's actually
And I'm
pretty
like,
funny.
guys, Chris doesn't know how tall the burning steps, and the cathedral and Stormwind
Yeah.
is. What Chris means is just make the tower really fucking tall. You
Yeah.
don't need to measure it. And they're like, oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to take the heat I'm like, I'm willing to take the heat on this one, guys.
Yeah. It's just a feeling. It's a vibe.
It's a
It's a
vibe.
yeah. And I also just personally have to give all the love in the world for
I think he starts talking about Diablo here, chat. Okay. Yeah, it cuts off right there. I think he has it all right here at 4 hours and 30 minutes and 35 seconds. He starts talking about, yeah, Diablo. Okay, chat. I just wanted to watch it with you guys to see basically why Jeff Kaplan left. Because he did go rogue for a very long time, like I was saying. I mean, that's crazy. I think one of the biggest takeaways here is that he did say, the Overwatch League was a house of cards. That's pretty wild. He did give us a lot of insight from his perspective of what was going on in the what do you call it, Overwatch universe, or I guess behind the Overwatch scenes. And to be honest with you, how you doing, Sushi? To be honest with you, if your boss ever sits you down and says, this is the biggest thing that actually shocked me from this whole interview. If your boss sits you down and tells you, hey man, you need to make this much money this month, this year, or this month, and if you don't, people are going to get fired. 1,000 people are going to get fired if you don't do this, and you have that much weight on your shoulders, bro, I'm sorry, man. I'm out of here, bro. I'm out of here. That's crazy. And yeah, I mean, because I feel like as a streamer as well, chat, as a streamer as well, I will say this, do you get a lot of, sponsorship opportunities or like stuff to do? And like, you do also, you get a lot of those. But I guess from my perspective is that as a streamer, I really don't like to play anything or really like to, advertise anything if I don't see myself playing it. And that's like my perspective on things. So yeah, seeing them just be like, hey, you know what? I don't care about any of this stuff. Make skins for 3 characters if you want. I need X amount of money before the end of the year, and if you don't get that, people are getting fired because of that. It's just fucking wild. That is just wild. But yeah, I just wanted to watch this guys with you guys for a little bit. It was a very interesting, getting inside Jeff's brain and also seeing him curse a little bit. That was kind of funny. But yeah, thank you guys for watching that with me. It was very interesting.